To shortcut the Gruntilda hat Jiggy, go up to the shock spring pad, hold down and left while charging, then hold left while jumping. While on the hand, enter Talon Trot, jump up to the hat, then cancel Talon Trot and quickly jump into the hole. While it is possible to jump up to the hat without entering Talon Trot, the jump is slightly harder to pull off. Make sure you cancel Talon Trot or else you will take some fall damage. Also, the hat is an unscalable slope, so don't spend too long on it. The Christmas tree star switch is usually a long and difficult process, but can be sped up considerably. Once you enter flight, flap twice, use 2 feathers, then beak bomb. Once you land on the tree, jump forward into the star, flutter backwards, then stomp recoil forward. Using feathers or beak bombing too early or too late can cause a lot of problems, or even put you in a worse situation. If this trick is causing you problems, instead beak bomb to the side and go through the star once normally. After the second time, stomp recoil in the opposite direction. Make sure you stomp low or else you might land on top of the star and fall. In Wuzz's cave, there's a way to grab the honeycomb inside his banjo. Simply walk up to the water in Talon Trot and jump to the hole. So long as you're close to the small cave, Banjo will sink and stay in that cave. Then just paddle to the other side. This relatively simple trick requires 5 health and, unless you have double health, is a one-way trip, so make sure you have all the notes before doing this. Instead of shooting eggs into Jinxie's nose, it's possible to glitch yourself inside through this hole. First, zoom out and line up so that you're perpendicular and slightly left of the black line. After taking damage, use a full-speed beak barge into the wall. Once inside, move northeast while holding R and zooming in to avoid disorienting the camera. Once you reach the door, you'll enter Jinxie's area through the back. Be careful not to pass through Jinxie's walls, or else you'll be forced inbounds and have to do the trick again. When you're inside, make sure you either flutter or Talon Trot to the door to avoid taking as much damage as possible. The Gobi clip has a different setup in the PAL version. Instead of beak barging, use Rat-a-tat-rap close to the ground and while holding up. The clip should occur during the fall. It's worth noting that this trick is extremely difficult and at times inconsistent. There's no good setup for this trick, so you're on your own for this. Also, this trick seems to be easier to perform on emulator. This trick might work on the Xbox Live Arcade version, but is yet to be tested. To steal Grabba's Jiggy without the Turbo Talon Trainers, simply run up and grab the Jiggy. God damn. To steal Grabba's Jiggy, you'll need to use the Slope Abuse trick. Start setting up this trick by running up to the left of the angled line texture in the wall while in Talon Trot. Then jump up to the wall and stall, re-jump back onto the wall, stall again, then rat-a-tat-rap at the peak of your jump. Your fall should be fast enough to grab the Jiggy. If done correctly, not only will you have the Jiggy, but you'll also hear the Turbo Talon Trot music in the background. This will continue playing until you enter any loading zone. If you aren't high enough on the wall, your fall speed won't be fast enough to grab the Jiggy before Grabba goes back underground. Before I show off the actual trick, I think it's worth mentioning how knockback works in Banjo-Kazooie. When Banjo is hit, he will travel in the opposite direction of the hitbox. This knockback is independent of the direction Banjo is facing. A good example of why this matters is in the Gruntilda fight. If you slide forward while shooting eggs, Gruntilda's fireball will knock you off the platform and kill you. Alright, now on to the actual trick. Walk near the Honeycomb and wait for Slappa to rise up. Once he starts moving, high jump and get hit by Slappa's fingertips. If you angle the knockback right, you should get knocked into the cactus. Keep in mind that the cactus is one of the fastest damage sources in this game, so if you have low health, try not to stay on the cactus for too long. While the labyrinth in Gobi's valley is hard to navigate, it's actually possible to jump over completely. As soon as you enter the maze, if you jump on the brightest part of the wall next to you as labeled by the red circle, it's possible to do another jump. You can utilize this trick by jumping on top of the maze wall. Once on the maze wall, just navigate on top of the walls to the other side. Make sure you change the camera angle to avoid falling though. This jump can be finicky at times, but keep at it and you'll get on it eventually. On the off chance that you fall, you can either go back and try again, navigate through the maze normally, or use the same trick at the far back left wall.